This meeting of the Essex County Board of Chosen Freeholders is hereby called to order. I'm going to call upon Freeholder Mercado to lead us in the salute to the flag.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I'm going to ask that we all please remain standing for a moment of silence. Thank you. At this point, I'd like to ask Talia Dombrowski to come join us at the podium to sing our national anthem.
God bless America, land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her through the night with the light from above. From the mountains to the prairies, to the oceans, white with foam. God bless America, my home, sweet home. God bless America, my home, sweet home.
That we please remain standing while I ask Father Sam Monaco from my home parish of St. Teresa of Calcutta in Montclair to lead us in our opening prayer. Father Monaco.
Creator God, bless the Essex County Board of Chosen Freeholders, our governor, and all assembled here this evening. Thank you for every seat that has been filled here this evening, for each mind and heart that fills the presence of this room. You truly know what we are setting out to accomplish this evening. We have talents, abilities, and the political will to work for the well-being of our county and state. However, only you can see in perfect detail the end of every beginning, every project, every initiative, every good deed. Nothing is ever in vain. For even mistakes and missteps are learning opportunities for the greater good. Your righteousness transcends all our efforts and understanding. Strengthen our confidence in who you have made us to be and to become. Set us free from hasty comparisons in order to work and govern together efficiently, justly, and collaboratively. Bless this reorganization meeting this evening, all the board members, all those present, as well as the lives of those we will encounter in the year ahead. Ready us to make every moment of our public service count. We ask this in confidence. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, Father. I have before me certification from the clerk that this meeting is in compliance with the Open Public Meetings Act. Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Freeholder Cooper? Here. Freeholder Gill?
Here.
Freeholder Johnson?
Present.
Freeholder Jones? Absent. Freeholder Luciano?
Here.
Freeholder Mercado?
Here.
Freeholder Pomares?
Here.
Freeholder Richardson?
Here.
Freeholder Siebel?
Here.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. At this point, I will turn the meeting over to you for the election of the officers. Madam Clerk.
Nominees and election of president. Freeholders, at this time, I will entertain nominations for the position of president of the board for 2019. Freeholder Johnson.
Thank you, Madam President. I would like to nominate Brendan Gill for a second term as president of the Freeholder Board. Brendan Gill has done a tremendous job working with us, with everyone, and with all the freeholders, making sure that all the things that the freeholders want put in place, that we made efforts to try to put them in place. So I nominate Brendan Gill for another term as president.
Thank you, Freeholder Johnson. Freeholders, do I hear a second on the nomination of Freeholder Gill as president? Freeholder Luciano.
Thank you, Madam President. I would like to second the nomination of Freeholder current President Brendan Gill. Under the last year of his leadership, our board has worked together collaboratively, not just as a board, but with our county executive. We look forward to 2019 and to do all the work that we can on behalf of our constituents and at a reasonable, very reasonable, and thank you, county executive, cost of increase in taxes. So I second Brendan Gill for the nomination of Freeholder President.
Freeholder Luciano, thank you. Are there any additional nominations for president? Seeing none, there are no further nominations for the position of
We don't want
president.
to give it any time.
I didn't even take a breath. Freeholders, do I have a motion to close the nominations?
I'll move it.
Do I hear a second to close the nominations?
I'll second.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? So moved, and the nominations are closed. Okay. Okay, Freeholders, we will now vote on the nomination of Freeholder Gill as president. Freeholder Cooper,
Yes.
Freeholder Gill,
Yes.
Freeholder Johnson,
Yes.
Freeholder Jones, no, absent. Freeholder Luciano.
Yes.
Freeholder Mercado.
Yes.
Freeholder Pomares.
Yes.
Freeholder Richardson.
Yes.
Freeholder Sebo.
Yes.
So moved. Congratulations. At this point, I will ask Governor Murphy to administer the oath of office to Freeholder President Gill.
Can I say a couple of words, Deborah?
Yes, Governor.
Anyone else notice it took Deborah a while to answer that? I'm incredibly honored to be here. If I say nothing else, this is an extremely heartfelt and deeply felt honor to be here tonight. I want to salute the county executive, the extraordinary board of chosen freeholders, including, I'm not sure how much longer I can stay, but Mr. Vice President, upon us, Chairman Leroy Jones, the legislators, the mayors, the local officials, the constitutional officers. It's an extraordinary lineup in Essex County. Father, I can't leave you out, by the way. I apologize for that. But to each and every one of you, I salute you. I obviously wish you an extraordinary 2019, but I also salute your extraordinary public service. And I'm here for one guy, and that's for this guy. When I heard you were taking nominations, Deborah, for president, I was kind of half hoping, having watched the television last night, that we were talking about a different different level, but we'll settle for president of Board of Chosen Freeholders in Essex County. It's a particular treat to have Brendan's mom and dad and wife Alex in here. So this is a family affair for Team Gill as it is for our team and as it is for so many in this room. Brendan and I met now several years ago. We instantly bonded. I wouldn't be where I am without him, period, full stop. He's an extraordinary friend, extraordinary public servant, an extraordinary consigliere. through good times and in bad. And for all the above reasons, I'm thrilled to be here. Joe, Essex County is one of those places where I look to and say, if only the state could run like this county. So to you and your team, to the freeholders, to the constitutional officers, to all the dignitaries, elected officials up and down the ballot, including in places like Livingston's in the House and other communities, Irvington, Milburn, and other places here. This county knows how to get it done, and I'm humbled, as I always am, to be with you. So with that, Deborah, thanks for those few words. I'd love to be able to do the deed here. Just you and me, or is any family going to come up here?
Allison?
The county executive and the chairman.
All right. Is this the right place to do it here?
Where would you like to do it?
What we'll do is remove the mic.
Okay,
And Lionel, can you move the podium to the side?
I can do that. Lionel? I'll run Joe over. Right there. You ready to go?
I'm ready to go. Thank you, sir.
I state your name,
I, Brendan Gill,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution
that I will support the Constitution
of the United States
of the United States
and the Constitution
and the Constitution
of the State of New Jersey,
of the State of New Jersey,
that I will bear true faith
that I will bear true faith
and allegiance to the same,
and allegiance to the same
and to the governments established
and to the governments established
in the United States
in the United States
and in this state.
and in this state.
I state your name,
I, Brendan,
one more time,
Brendan Gill,
having been elected
having been elected
President of the Board of Chosen Freeholders
President of the Board of Chosen Freeholders
in and for the State of New Jersey,
in and for the State of New Jersey,
do solemnly promise
do solemnly promise
and swear
and swear
that I will faithfully,
that I will faithfully,
impartially,
impartially,
and justly perform
and justly perform
all the duties
all the duties
of President of the
President
Board of Chosen
of
Freeholders
President of the Board of Chosen Freeholders
in and for the State of New Jersey,
in and for the State of New Jersey,
according to the best of my abilities
according to the best of my abilities
and understanding.
and understanding.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations, pal.
Mr. President, would you like me to continue? And Mr. President, I believe you want to reserve your remarks until after we swear in the Vice President.
Yes.
Nomination and election of Vice President. Freeholders, at this time, I will entertain nominations for the position of Vice President of the Board for 2019. Freeholder Siebel.
Thank you. With great pleasure, I am pleased to place in nomination the name of Wayne Richardson to continue as the Vice President of the Essex County Board of Chosen Freeholders. Wayne Richardson has an extensive background working with various constituents. He is President of Labor's Local 55, a residential construction union. He is the lead organizer representing an area that includes New Jersey, Delaware, New York City, and Long Island. His vast background in many other situations makes him well prepared to be the Vice President of the Freeholder Board. Wayne Richardson also cares about what matters most to the residents he represents. He brings a diverse knowledge to this government, and that is why I consider it a pleasure to nominate Wayne Richardson as Vice President of the Freeholder Board.
Thank you, Freeholder Siebel.
Thank you.
Freeholders, do I hear a second on the nomination of Freeholder Richardson as Vice President? Freeholder Pomares.
Madam Clerk, it would be my privilege to nominate my friend and colleague Wayne Richardson to second the motion. Wayne has been a terrific teammate not only to President Gill, but to all of us here. He knows when to ask the tough questions when they needed to be asked. He knows when to inject humor quite a bit when we need it as well. And he keeps it very real for us here on this board. He is a wealth of resource for all of us, and it would be our privilege to have him serve again as our Vice President.
Thank you, Freeholder Pomares. Freeholders, are there additional nominations for Vice President? And seeing that there are no additional nominations for the position of Vice President, Freeholders, do I have a motion to close the nominations?
I'll second.
Do I hear a second to close the nominations? And all those in favor of closing the nominations for Vice President signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, so moved, and the nominations are now closed. Freeholders, we will now vote on the nomination of Freeholder Richardson as Vice President. Freeholder Cooper.
Yes.
Freeholder President Gill.
Yes.
Freeholder Johnson.
Yes.
Freeholder Jones. Absent Freeholder Luciano.
Yes.
Freeholder Mercado.
Yes.
Freeholder Pomares.
Yes.
Freeholder Richardson.
Yes.
Freeholder Siebel.
Yes.
So moved.
You can always sing.
I would like at this point to ask Mayor Voss to administer the oath of office to Freeholder Vice President Richardson.
Let me say that it's my honor and privilege to be here to swear in such a diligent, hard-working gentleman who represents the 2nd District where Irvington resides at with honor and distinction. I'm so happy that you've decided to serve again as Vice President of this great board, and we're going to continue to work together to make all of Essex County, including Irvington, the best it can be. All right. So ready? I state your name.
I, Wayne Richardson,
Do solemnly swear or affirm
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the constitutions of the state of New Jersey,
and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey,
and I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same
and I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same,
and to the governments established in the United States
and to the governments established in the United States
and in this state.
and in this state.
I state your name,
I, Wayne Richardson,
having been elected
having been elected
Vice President of the Board of Chosen Freeholders
Vice President of the Board of Chosen Freeholders
in the state of New Jersey,
in the State of New Jersey,
do solemnly promise
do solemnly promise
that I will faithfully,
that I will faithfully,
impartially,
impartially,
and justly
and justly
perform all the duties
perform all the duties
of Vice President of the Board of Chosen Freeholders
of Vice President of the Board of Chosen Freeholders
and for the state of New Jersey,
and for the State of New Jersey,
according to the best of my abilities,
according to the best of my abilities.
so help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations.
Mr. President, if permitted, before I turn the meeting over to you, I would like to recognize some of our dignitaries here. And Mr. President, you always express that everyone is important, but for the elected officials, I'd like to take the opportunity to do that at this time. Sure. Okay. I'd like to recognize our County Executive, Joe DiVincenzo. Our Essex County Sheriff, Armando Forturo. Assemblywoman Wright. Former Freeholder Carol Clark. Frank Delgardio, Director of Hospital Center. Joseph Calabro, Business Manager, IBEW 1158. Courtney Gauchion, Essex County Council. Councilman Sean Klein. Assemblywoman Brittany Timberlake. Carol Hunt, Chief Information Officer. Mayor Diane Thal Eglo, Township of Millburn. Rhea Butts, Director of East Orange Senior Services. Joseph Parlivecchio, former Freeholder President. Councilwoman Renee Baskerville. Theodore Stevens, Essex County Acting Prosecutor. LaDonna Johns, East Orange, Manager of the Mayor's Office of Employment and Training. Councilman Cassine Gomez, City of East Orange. Councilwoman Quilla Talmadge, City of East Orange. Phil Elijah, Essex County, Joe DiVincenzo's Chief of Staff. Garnet Hall, Deputy Clerk, Office of the County Clerk. Assemblyman Ralph Caputo. Honorable Tom Barrett. Jay Coltree, Director of Purchasing for Essex County. Matthew Cavallo, Manager, Township of Verona. Councilman Jack McAvoy, Township of Verona. Rick Thigpen, Executive with VP for PSE&G. I may have given you a promotion. John Donadio, Director, NJAC. Jacqueline Jones, Deputy Director, Essex County Human Resources Department. Assemblyman Thomas Giblin. Dana Roan, Essex County Registrar. Tim Walker, Essex County Risk Manager. Councilman Steve Rovell, Township of Belleville. Elaine Fishman, Councilwoman, the Borough of Roseland. Councilman Vincent Carzarelli, Township of Belleville. Joseph Zara, Essex County Superintendent of Schools. Carmen Fernicola, Essex County Assistant County Administrator Officer. I believe I said Assemblyman Ralph Caputo. All right. And the one that got away. I did that.
Former Freeholder.
Former Freeholders.
Mayor of Livingston.
And recognizing Tommy P., the Office of Senator of Cory Booker. my partners, my buddies from Livingston.
Sean Klein.
Would you stand up so everybody can see you? You're really elected.
Al Anthony and Sean Klein.
Okay. Al Anthony and Sean Klein. Thank you.
Mayor.
And Mayor, I'm sorry. Thank you. And I believe, hopefully, I have not missed anyone, and if not, oh, I didn't see you. All right. The Dean Daffis, committeeman from the Township of Maplewood. Oh, Janine Bauer, former freeholder and Assemblywoman Pintor. Now, hopefully we've covered everyone. Okay. At this point, if I may, Mr. President, just to be a little creative with the program, if it's okay with you.
You're the boss.
Okay. I'd like to have comments from three individuals here. The first, I'd like to invite up for comments. And do we have the mic or podium available? Or just bring the mic out, and that would be...
I don't know if that's a sign when they put the podium away.
Executive Joe D., would you please come up for comments? Pardon me? Yes. Chairman Jones?
Who would you like me to speak from?
We're going to bring it with a mic here. And Chairman, if you'd like the podium, we'll bring it right out for you also.
I'm sure y'all probably had to get it back to Renner Center.
Ouch. We're lean and mean in Essex County government, Mr. Chairman, lean and mean.
This is Essex County, right? Joe's, very, very frugal. But let me just, to, all the, residents of the county, the elected officials that, Deborah so, ably recognized, the members of the Board of Freeholders, President Gill and Vice President Richardson, County Executive Joe DiVincenzo, Sheriff Armando Ventura had to leave because today is his anniversary, so, he needs to be home with his wife. But, Happy New Year to, each and every one of you, and we're looking forward, to a very, happy, prosperous, and healthy new year. It is, my honor and my pleasure to be here today to witness democracy, at its best. In this county, not the transition of power, but the continuation of a working relationship between a governing body and, an administration that has been a stellar administration up and down the state of New Jersey. I am, so proud of, Wayne and Brendan for what they have been to the leadership of this board. And knowing this board full well, having, an opportunity to serve, as a freeholder of this august body. But let me just say to Wayne and Brendan, you guys have a awesome responsibility working alongside of, Joe DiVincenzo, along with, the other 7 members of this board. And, in the past years, you guys have, legislated well and ably and continue to recognize, that, our democracy, is, embraced in the fellowship of knowing our constituency and representing our constituency day in and day out. So I am so proud to be part of this political apparatus, which we call the Essex County Democratic Committee, because it works hand in glove, with this administration and, this governing body. Wayne, congratulations for, another year. Your colleagues saw fit, to continue with you as, Vice President, and I think, they made a just and an able decision. because you've been steadfast in your leadership. To my friend, Brendan Gill, it's been said that until you're, able to carry your own water, you begin to understand the value of every drop. And every drop that's part of Brendan's value system. Alexon, Mr. and Mrs. Gill, you have a husband and a son, that, has been a steadfast public servant. And, his dedication, to public service, has been second to none. He's a valued father, he's a valued son, and, he's a valued friend. And he's been that, for me, for years on end. So, ladies and gentlemen, today, as we witness, this governance at work and the continuation of leadership, know full well that this is a board and an administration with a county executive that is value-based, that is sharply focused on the improvement of the quality of life, and always, always continues to put the county of Essex first and foremost. Thank you so much.
Good evening to everyone. I want to wish everyone a happy New Year's. Chairman Jones, Sheriff Armando Vontour, you said it was his anniversary. He celebrates his anniversary 365 days a year. It's past his bedtime. He had to get home. You were being very nice to the sheriff. We have two sayings in Essex County. Putting Essex County first, and good government's good politics. On the political scene here in Essex County, we have the best chairman in the state of New Jersey, Leroy Jones, who has moved politically. It's not easy to be a chairman, because everybody's got their own ego. But what Leroy has done in a short period of time speaks for itself. We're only here because of the chairman and by us working together. On the governmental side, there's separation of power. You have the administrative branch and you have the freeholder branch. For the last 16 years, it's been, even though we have two, it's been one team. It's been one team. It's been my administration. It's been working with the president, the vice president, all the freeholder boards. It's been working with the 3,500 employees that work for this county and servicing the 800,000 residents. I couldn't be more proud of what we have accomplished together, but there's still a lot more to go. And I say this all the time, every time we have a press conference. We couldn't have done the things in this county the last 16 years if we didn't have the freeholder support. Everything that we do goes through this board, and you either go up or you go down. And that's the way it's supposed to be. And we're one team, and we're going to continue to be a strong team here in Essex County. To Wayne Richardson, you're Wayne Richardson, Barringer High School.
Blue bear.
What? Blue Bears.
That's right.
Yeah, I went to with your uncle, I think, to school. But Wayne was, everything he does with his heart. And, he makes sure that we do things right, and he keeps us on track. But congratulations, Wayne, you deserve to be there. The freeholder, Brendan Gill, I wanted to say this before the governor left. Governor Murphy has been, so you know, a good friend to Essex County. He's been the governor for the past year. And prior to that, when he was running for office, I just talked about Essex County. I talked about our needs and the things that we were getting. And I said, just please keep us whole. If you keep us whole, I know the state's got financial, just keep us whole. Well, I can tell you all that Governor Murphy has kept his commitment to Essex County, not only to our administrations, but to 800,000 people here. So when you see him again, Brendan, make sure you thank the governor for it, because we wouldn't be in a position today if it wasn't for his support. The other thing, Brendan Gill, what do I always tell you? Be low key. I told him to be low key And then I find out after this presidency, did you know he's going to be the president and Jack Leroy? He didn't listen.
You thought the audio came all the way here just to see me?
He's trying to keep his job. You could fire him. But listen, we have something very special here. And Brendan, you've been absolutely a great president, and you worked very, very hard with Wayne and stuff during leadership. You work with our mayor, Mayor Jackson, Jay Coltree, and you do an outstanding job. And to all the other freeholders, you know, we're one family. Thank you for your support, but let's continue to work together. Let's continue to make Essex County the best county in the state of New Jersey. Thank you.
Mr. President, I now turn the meeting over to you.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. I think the governor lost his opportunity to speak twice because my script says the governor was supposed to speak again. But moving through that, I want to thank everyone who's here tonight and who's joined us tonight and had the opportunity to make some remarks. I saw he also just walked in, but we did our dignitary before, but Councilman Ted Gillen from the Township of Verona was at the back to make sure that he was also acknowledged. This is the point in the program where the elected freeholder president makes some remarks, and before the ceremony started, Chairman Jones stopped in to see me in my office, and he saw a stack of papers and asked me if those were my remarks, and the conversation went something like this: "Those aren't your remarks, are they?" Which said to me I might want to shorten them up. But in all seriousness, I'd be remiss if I just didn't say that your presence here tonight both is a confirmation of your interest and commitment to this county. And as I look across this room, I see representation from so many corners of the county. So from the bottom of my heart, on behalf of my family, I thank each and every one of you for your support and for being here. As we embark on a new year, it's both my distinct honor and pleasure to reaffirm my oath to serve the citizens of Essex County as the president of the Board of Chosen Freeholders. Serving as president this year was both challenging and rewarding, but without question, the rewards have outnumbered the challenges. I deeply appreciate my colleagues on the board who have once again entrusted me with this awesome task of leading this legislative branch of government, and for having the fortitude, faith, and courage to assume this responsibility alongside me. To my freeholder Vice President Wayne Richardson. Wayne, I don't think Vice is the proper title. You are a co-pilot with me on this journey. I thank you for all of your advice, guidance, sense of humor, and keeping all of us calm at some tense times, and just for being always a friend. So Vice President Richardson, thank you so much. To Freeholder, we can give him a round of applause, another round of applause, absolutely. To Freeholder Johnson for nominating me. He doesn't like to be called this, but he's the elder statesman of this board in some in so many respects. But again, where would this board be without his class, presence, knowledge, and just general advice? So Freeholder Johnson, again, on behalf of you and your family, thank you so much. To Freeholder Luciano, thank you for seconding the nomination. And thank you for actually making the meeting tonight. I know. Tip-off time, I believe, is 8:30. Go Pirates! But you know, we give Freeholder Luciano now and then a hard time. You know, Mr. Chairman, Mr. County Executive, and all those in the Essex County family. But there's no one who brings more passion to anything that he does. Whether it's a freeholder meeting and or a basketball game, the level of passion is going to be the same. And that is a compliment, a high compliment, Freeholder Luciano. So thank you for everything that you have done on this board. To Freeholder Siebold, thank you so much again where would we be without your guidance, your support, your work on probably one of the most critical issues in this county, the issue of open space in our parks. You know, the county executive gets a lot of credit for our parks, our open space, but those of us who are here each and every day know that you are a big part of that vision, a big part of where we are on that issue, which helps define this county, and we are lucky to have you as a friend, as a mentor, and to continue to serve on this board. I know we also are keeping you and your family this year on the passing of Bert in our prayers, so a day does not go by that I know that many of us do not think about him and his contribution to this county, but thank you so much for everything that you have done. So thank you. Thank you for your receiver. To Freeholder Mercado, it's been great to get to know you this year. Looking forward to continuing to serve with you. Your interest in workforce development and making sure that the North Ward and your district is well represented is admirable. And again, thank you so much for your support and vote of confidence, and all the best, Freeholder Mercado. To Freeholder Pomaris, I want to thank you both for your professionalism and friendship. I had the honor to swear you in a few years ago to the Bloomfield Council. I was first elected to this board I think when you were elected right around the same time to the Bloomfield Council, and our path in public service has been joined at the hip ever since, and I couldn't be more proud to have you with me on this journey. So all the best to Freeholder Pomaris. To our newly elected Freeholder Cooper, thank you for being here tonight. We look forward to what you're going to do on this board. You know, in a short amount of time, you made a huge impact, and I'm excited to serve with you, to see you here tonight, and we look forward to everything that's going to come in the year ahead. And you know that you have our full support and love over the following year. So all the best to you, Freeholder Cooper. We have one freeholder who is not here tonight, but she's definitely on my mind, Mayor Voss, Freeholder Levy Jones. You know, and we're thinking about Levy, you know, and we will continue to think about Levy. Her record is unmatched in this county, both in the township of Irvington, and I oftentimes call her the conscience of this board in some respects. She keeps us, and I'm looking at former President, now Assemblywoman Timberlake, she keeps us on the straight and narrow, for sure, you know, and that voice is sorely missed right now, and we look forward to when she's back and able to join us. So again, to all of my freeholders, thank you so much for that vote of confidence and support. To the county executive, Joe D., I thank you and everything that you've done to lead this administration, to create an environment of synergy where the legislative branch continues to work in tandem with this administration. Your open door policy is evident and appreciated. I look forward to keeping Essex County first with you, and no doubt we are well on our way. Has been mentioned many times, that AAA bond rating that this county has is something that we are all proud of, and something that you should be very, very proud of. I know you are, and you should be congratulated for that, and I think that deserves a round of applause from the audience. And again, also for your advice, I guess I'm not keeping as low profile as you as you would like these days, but you know, the governor mentioned it, and Joe, you mentioned it, and I know our chairman mentioned it, Leroy Jones, but our administrative legislative branch, these are two co-equal but separate branches of government, but we hope that they're the model of how government should and can work on behalf of all of its people. And I'm proud to be a part of that with you. So thank you, Mr. County Executive. To our Essex County Democratic Chairman Leroy Jones and his wife Jackie, I want to thank you for giving me this opportunity to stand up and lead. I want to thank you for being available for support, for allowing me to move our county's agenda forward, and most importantly, I want to just thank you for being a friend. You said it. We have probably more than anyone in this room. Chairman Jones probably has known me the longest. And there's a lot that's made in this state of my relationship with the governor, and I'm proud of that relationship, but I'm also very proud of the relationship that I have with you. And it supersedes politics, and I know you know that, and I know that, and I couldn't be prouder to call you a friend. So thank you. And Jackie, it's been a pleasure to work with you over the last year, and to get to know you in that way, and that side of your life, but also for supporting Leroy in what he does, because I know how important that is to be able to do that work, to have that strong support system of a family and someone at home in order to do that. So thank you for the sacrifices that you make to do that work. So, and all the best to you and your family. So. I also wanted to thank, and I promise I'll get to the speech. That's a joke, folks. Just a few more thank yous. So I wasn't going to thank my wife, but she just gave me the look to cut it off. I just two quick words about Alex, and she's a professional in her own right, and as much as she's my wife, I respect her for, and I had to write this out, honey. I respect her for all that she is and does. I'm grateful to have you by my side as we take on this sometimes rocky, yet always fulfilling roller coaster called life. You have sacrificed so much for our family, and before we go any further, know that I love you and you truly are my rock. And to our children, Gabriel and Kristen, who are not here tonight, they motivate me each and every day to try to be the best person that I can be, and they are my hope for the future. So, Allison, thank you. Thank you so much. And last but not least, I would also be remiss to mention two people who have been an influence, have tolerated my many mistakes, which there have been many, but also encouraged me to enter into this world of politics and public service. For those who have the calling, and there are many elected officials in this room who serve, most of us, and probably all of us, got in it with the desire to make a difference in our communities, to make a difference for our families, and to leave this world a little bit better than we found it. It can be a rough and tumble business sometimes, and sometimes it is a business. And those of us who signed up for it know that, and we're able to deal with that. But it can be especially hard, though, on our families who have to witness and watch that as you go through that process. So, Mom and Dad, I wanted to thank you for being here. I want to thank you, Dad, for your, and I always mess it up, are we 47, 48? 48 for your 48th year this year in the Montclair Public Schools. And Mom, thank you for keeping him out of the house. We appreciate that. But Mom, thank you for being here tonight. And please know that each and every day, no matter what you read, I'm really not that bad a guy. But thank you, Mom and Dad, for being here. The really, and I did have quite a few, tell them we're almost done. We have accomplished quite a bit in the past year, and in so many different areas. Open space, the environment. We have a score? Okay. And I wanted to go through the litany of things we've accomplished, but rather than that, I think I'd rather just say thank you to everyone who is here tonight, because I know you're not here for me or for any individual board member. You're here for this county and what you do on behalf of this county. And one person who wasn't mentioned that I want to make sure I also give a special shout out to, who's our business administrator, our county administrator, is the mayor of Montclair, Robert Jackson. Mayor, thank you. We also go back a long time. We're true blue Mounties, as is our Councilwoman Renee Baskerville. That's all right. We can cheer for that, right? And I thank you for your steady leadership each and every meeting and in this county and in our hometown of Montclair. Thank you so much. And with that, again, thank you for the past year. We've made unbelievable strides on issues, as I said, in the areas of public safety, open space, citizen services, most importantly, former President Timberlake and Assemblywoman Timberlake. We continue to try to make sure that when we spend money out of this entity, that it's being spent in our communities, and on our residents. And we will continue to do everything we can to make sure that happens. And I look forward to continuing to work with all my board members on the many, many wonderful initiatives that both you have and that we have collectively. So to each and every one of you, to all the mayors, elected officials, our prosecutor Ted Stevens, all of our professional staff, Happy New Year. Thank you for the vote of confidence, and let's make 2019 a banner year. At this point, I'm going to ask my good friend, Vice President Richardson, to finish the second half of my remarks and also deliver his to our Freeholder Vice President, Wayne Richardson. Freeholder Richardson.
Thank you, Mr. President. I will be brief. You took most of the time. I think someone forgot to start the clock. So, to the county exec, constitutional officers, Governor Murphy, my fellow freeholders, elected officials, and all who are assembled, good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening.
It is truly a good evening, and we are all here in fine numbers. If you are like me, you are excited about the possibilities of the future. And for all who know me personally, know that this is how I embrace each day. I look at it in expectation to be a fantastic one. This evening, I am honored and humbled to once again accept the office of Vice President of this board. First, I want to thank God for the opportunity and the ability to serve. Secondly, I want to thank my colleagues on the board who each bring varied, unique gifts and talents to the table. Our diversity mirrors our constituency and allows us to be relative and relevant as a board. We not only emphasize that, but we can also affect necessary change where we are able. To President Gill, congratulations on another term as president. It has been inspiring working beside you, to say the least. And I believe as of last year, we were just getting started. In 2019, we'll hold a plethora of opportunities to explore and champion. I thank you for your leadership and for your confidence in me to lead alongside you. To the county exec, Joe D., I thank you for your stellar leadership that is proven through the many accomplishments we have seen and support throughout the county. It is a privilege to be in leadership on this board and work with you personally. I realize firsthand the fruits of our labor. I look forward to maintaining that relationship, and thank you again. To Chairman Jones, thank you for your support and confidence in me to lead. To my family, especially my wife, Antoinette, who is also the Chief Education Officer for the City of Newark. I want to thank you for your love, your support, for allowing me to do what I do for my constituents. You are my springboard, yet you keep me grounded. And God knows I need it. As we approach the new year, I am humbled and honored to once again serve as Vice President to the board. I believe we are all well prepared to combat challenges ahead, knowing our efforts, combined with the administration, sets us apart. The upgrades to our parks and open spaces keeps Essex County as a desirable location to live. I also want to thank the mayors in my district, District 2, who have made themselves available to my work collaboratively on common interests, goals. So I want to thank Mayor Baraka and my friend of Irvington, and Mayor Tony Voss. Thank you for all that you do and for all your guidance and all your support. I really appreciate you. And also Mayor Victor Luca of Maplewood. See Dean back there. As president of Labor's Local 55, it has been my life's work to fight for the civil rights and the well-being of working class people. I am privileged to continue this work as a public servant through this form of civic duty. Together we have moved forward many projects that have improved the life and quality of lives of our constituents, such as upgrades to Weekway Park and Irvington Park, just to name a few. And my goal to continue this trend through 2019. As I close and go and we start the meeting, I would like to leave you with this quote from A. Philip Randolph, historic African-American leader in the labor movement, that I believe epitomizes our legislative goals, and it reads, "A community is democratic only when the humblest and the weakest person can enjoy the highest civil, economic, and social rights that the biggest and most powerful possess." Let us work to make this a reality. Thank you, and God bless you all.
Okay, thank you, Vice President Richardson. Madam Clerk, at this point, we will continue with the agenda. At this time, we will move the public comment session to the end of the meeting. Madam Clerk, let's move to resolution number one. Please, we can read it into the record at a later time. Freeholders, do I have a motion and a second?
Motion.
Moved by Freeholder Cooper.
I'll second.
Second by Freeholder Mercado. Freeholders, any questions or comments? Roll call.
Freeholder Cooper.
Yes.
Freeholder Johnson.
Yes.
Freeholder Jones. Absent. Freeholder Luciano.
Let's just vote on this.
Yes.
Freeholder Mercado.
Yes.
Freeholder Pomares.
Yes.
Freeholder Vice President Richardson.
Yes.
Freeholder Sebo. Yes. Freeholder President Gill.
Yes, so moved.
So moved.
So, Madam Clerk, we'll take a 10-minute recess and then reconvene with our business meeting after a 10-minute recess. We'll call Essex County Freeholder Board meeting back to order. Roll call, attendance, Madam Clerk.
You have to resume to resolution number 2 from
Resume.
the reorganization meeting.
Correct, but do we need to take attendance first again? You have to take a roll.
Okay. Okay, roll call. Freeholder Cooper, absent. Freeholder Johnson.
Here.
Freeholder Jones, absent. Freeholder Luciano.
Here.
Freeholder Mercado.
Here.
Freeholder Palmeras.
Here.
Freeholder Richardson. Freeholder Vice President Richardson.
Here.
Freeholder Sebo. Here. Freeholder President Gill.
Here. Thank you, Madam Clerk. Moving to resolution number 2, we can read it into the record at a later time. Freeholders, do I have a motion and a second?
I'll move.
Moved by Freeholder Johnson,
Second, Mr. President.
second by Freeholder Pomares. Freeholders, are there questions and or comments? Seeing none, roll call, Madam Clerk.
Freeholder Cooper, absent. Freeholder Johnson.
Yes.
Freeholder Jones, absent. Freeholder Luciano.
Yes.
Freeholder Mercado.
Yes.
Freeholder Palmeras.
Yes.
Freeholder Vice President Richardson.
Yes.
Freeholder Sebo. Yes. Freeholder President Gill.
Yes. Moving, and for those of you watching at home, we are still on the reorganization agenda. Moving to resolution number 3, we can lead it into the record at a later time. Freeholders, do I have a motion and a second?
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Freeholder Mercado, second by Vice President Richardson. Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Freeholder Sebo. Yes. Freeholder Vice President Richardson.
Yes.
Freeholder Palmeras.
Yes.
Freeholder Mercado.
Yes.
Freeholder Luciano.
Yes.
Freeholder Jones, absent. Freeholder Johnson.
Yes.
Freeholder Cooper, absent. Freeholder Vice President Gill.
Yes.
So moved.
Okay, thank you, Madam Clerk. Moving to resolution number 4, we can read it into the record at a later time. Freeholders, do I have a motion and a second?
Move.
Moved by Freeholder Seabold, do I have a second by Freeholder Johnson? Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Freeholder Cooper, absent. Freeholder Johnson.
Yes.
Freeholder Jones, absent. Freeholder Luciano.
Yes.
Freeholder Mercado.
Yes.
Freeholder Palmeris.
Yes.
Freeholder Vice President Richardson.
Yes.
Freeholder Seabold.
Yes.
Freeholder President Gill.
Yes.
So moved.
Okay. Moving to resolution number 5, which is our NJAC, I believe our NJAC representatives.
Yes.
Freeholders, do I have a motion and a second?
Mr. President, I'll move. I'll second.
Moved by Freeholder Palmeris, second by Freeholder Mercado. The representative for NJACs will be the president, and the alternates will be Freeholder Johnson and Freeholder Vice President Richardson. Are there any additional questions or comments on resolution number 5?
Mr. President, just for the record, I'm not sure if it's just on my copy, but on the backup copy here, I think we have a 2016 version, perhaps. You want to take a look at that? Or at least the bottom portion. The last page, the references of freeholders who are no longer on the board. I don't know if the rest of the document is, I think the resolution is fine. I think it's just the avoiding the block. Yeah, I think that's what's inaccurate, okay. But on the resolution, it says for 2016, so we may want to just modify it.
Okay, we will make it. Correction?
Ms. Calvin, do we have to do anything right now? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Freeholder Palmeris. Any additional other questions or comments? Roll call.
Freeholder Seabold.
Yes.
Freeholder Vice President Richardson.
Yes.
Freeholder Palmeris.
Yes.
Freeholder Mercado.
Yes.
Freeholder Luciano.
Yes.
Freeholder Jones, absent. Freeholder Johnson.
Yes.
Freeholder Cooper, absent. Freeholder President Gill.
Yes.
So moved.
Thank you, Madam Clerk.
Make sure you have the right date.
Yeah, right, the right date.
Because there's a
It
2016
just says,
one that's.
Okay, I floated it
Yeah.
in front of me. I just wanted to make sure.
yeah,
Thank
it is the,
I think that's the 1616.
Okay, got it.
okay.
Thank you.
Yeah. No, we have to do temporary, we have to do temporary. And then you can just say this about the business, and then go into the agenda.
So moving to resolution number 6, which is the 2019 temporary budget. Read it into the record at a later time. Freeholders, do I have a motion and a second?
I'll move it.
Moved by Freeholder Seabold.
Second.
Second by Freeholder Johnson. Mr. McInerney, do you have any comments?
No comments, Mr. President.
Freeholders, do you have any questions or comments on resolution number 6? Seeing none, Freeholders, roll call, Madam Clerk.
Freeholder Cooper, absent. Freeholder Johnson.
Yes.
Freeholder Jones, absent. Freeholder Luciano.
Yes.
Freeholder Mercado.
Yes.
Freeholder Palmeris.
Yes.
Freeholder Vice President Richardson.
Yes.
Freeholder Seabold.
Yes.
Freeholder President Gill.
Yes.
So moved.
Okay. Okay. Freeholders, before we move to the next agenda items, I'm just going to announce that we would like to ask that the members of the board who have been appointed to freeholder committees to continue to do so until we approve new committee assignments for 2019, so that we can talk with everyone. Do we need to adjourn or no? No. We can go to resolution number 2. Okay, so we're moving now to our conference board agenda for Wednesday, January 9th. To our approval, do we have any approval of transcripts?
There are none, Mr.
Okay.
President.
Do we have any topics of discussion?
There are none.
Okay. Do we have ordinances or resolutions of introduction and first reading?
There are none, Mr. President.
Excuse me, thank you. Public comment on agenda items only. Agenda items only. Seeing and hearing none. Do we have any? Thank you. Madam Clerk, do you have any ordinances or resolutions for introduction and first reading?
There are none.
Okay, Madam Clerk, do you have any ordinances or resolutions for listing purposes only?
There are none,
Okay,
Mr. President.
Madam Clerk, do we have any ordinances or resolutions on second reading and public hearing tonight?
There are none.
Okay, Madam Clerk, let's move to the resolution. The resolutions, I understand number 1 has been withdrawn, so let's move to number 2. Resolution number 2, which we can read into the record at a later time. Mr. Jackson, can you please explain the resolution?
Good evening, Mr. President, members of the board. Mr. Walker, our Director of Risk Management, is here to address items 2 and 3.
Thank you.
Good evening, Tim.
Yeah.
Good evening, Tim Walker, Director of Risk Management. How's everybody doing?
Very good, thank you.
With me, I have Brian Erlinson from our broker, BGI. Hello. Is that better? You can hear me?
Yeah.
It's very rare somebody says they can't hear me. As long as it's being recorded. It's not.
He said it's not.
Did I drop the mic? Oh, hello. Is that better? Oh. Should we go again? Tim Walker, Director of Risk Management, accompanied by Brian Erlinson from our broker BGIA. Resolution number 2 is about the renewal of the Essex County Correctional Facilities Commercial Property Program. We were able, after a long underwriting session, able to bring in the final premium at a 4% increase, which, considering where it began, was a very favorable result for us.
Thank you. Mr. Parlavecchio?
I don't have any questions.
Mr. McInerney?
No questions.
Freeholders, do we have any questions or comments? Do I have a motion and a second?
I'll move, Mr. President.
Moved by Freeholder Palmaris,
I'll second.
second by Freeholder Mercado. Roll call, Madam Clerk.
This is for resolution number 2 and 3?
Resolution number 2.
Just number 2.
Okay. Freeholder Cooper, absent. Freeholder Johnson?
Yes.
Freeholder Jones, absent. Freeholder Luciano?
Yes.
Freeholder Mercado?
Yes.
Freeholder Palmaris?
Yes.
Freeholder Vice President Richardson?
Yes.
Freeholder Sebold?
Yes.
Freeholder President Gill?
Yes.
So moved.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. We'll move to resolution number 3, which we can read into the record at a later time. Mr. Jackson.
Mr. Walker.
Okay, resolution number 3 deals with the Essex County Correctional Facilities Excess Flood Program. The way this works is The facility has a $5 million sublimit in their property program, and then above that, we went out to purchase excess coverage of another $5 million. After another grueling underwriting review, we were able to bring that one in at a 3% increase, and Brian here could talk more in detail about it.
Brian?
Good evening. Brian Erlandson, BGIA. Do you have any questions?
Yep, go ahead. Please. You want to expand?
I'm sorry?
You want to expand on the resolution contract?
Okay. Well, generally, the insurance marketplace, particularly commercial property insurance, is affected nationally and globally, ultimately. We're seeing, in general, rate increases on property insurance, in particular, certain other lines of insurance. They just calculated just yesterday, announced the 2018 calendar year results on insured losses of $80 billion from natural catastrophes. Point out the California fires. That's affecting everything that's downhill from there. And that's at the heels of last year's 2017 $140 billion, which was a record-setting all-time insured losses. So that's trickling down. There's still, we still have carriers that are interested in looking at the insurance for the facility, but they're not being overly aggressive in light of the current insurance market conditions.
Okay, Mr. Parlavecchio?
Yes. Sir, were there any losses in Essex County for this coverage that contributed to it, or is it the external ones that you were just talking about?
Well, there was one major, in 2012, we had a major hit with Superstorm Sandy, and another loss which totaled over $7 million in that year.
And are we still seeing the residuals in terms of premium increases?
That is partially correct, yes. It does get factored into the total cost, is the history of losses on the location.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you. Mr. McInerney?
Do any of the environmental issues down there at the correctional facility have any effect on these premiums?
Not for this line of insurance in particular. It might for others, such as environmental, as you say, pollution insurance.
Okay, freeholders, do I have any questions or comments? Okay, do I have a motion and a second?
I'll move it.
Moved by Freeholder Seabold,
Second.
second by Vice President Richardson. Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Freeholder Seabold?
Yes.
Freeholder Vice President Richardson?
Yes.
Freeholder Palmeras?
Yes.
Freeholder Mercado?
Yes.
Freeholder Luciano?
Yes.
Freeholder Jones absent. Freeholder Johnson?
Yes.
Freeholder Cooper absent. Freeholder President Gill?
Yes.
So moved.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Moving to resolution number 4, which can read into the record at a later time. Mr. Jackson.
Mr. President, Mr. Delgaudio is here to address this item.
Thank you.
Frank Delgaudio, Director, Essex County Hospital Center. This resolution is for our, what we call tonsorial services for our patients. What it is, it's hair styling, hair cutting services. This year, we're really proud to have a woman-owned business who we worked through the process through Sam Aparaki's office. We got her certified with the state as a woman-owned entity. And what's really interesting about this is the first time we've had someone that could actually style women's hair. We always only gave beard trims and haircuts to the male patients, and now she also does male and female. And the difference this makes is just unbelievable when you see the looks on the patients' faces and how good they look, and she's extremely talented, so I really support this resolution.
Thank you. Mr. Parlavecchio?
No questions.
Mr. McInerney?
No questions.
Freeholders? Mr. Guardia, where's the business located?
It's in the hospital center. The name
No.
of the vendor is,
I'm sorry,
Oh.
the vendor?
she's out of Nutley, and she comes to the hospital center 1 day per week.
Great. So women-owned business, certified and in the county. Well done.
Trifecta.
What's that? It's a triple play. Freeholders, additional questions or comments? Do I have a mover and a second?
Second.
Moved by Freeholder Siebel, second by Freeholder Mercado. Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Freeholder Cooper, absent. Freeholder Johnson.
Yes.
Freeholder Jones, absent. Freeholder Luciano.
Yes.
Freeholder Mercado.
Yes.
Freeholder Palmieri.
Yes.
Freeholder Vice President Richardson.
Yes.
Freeholder Siebold.
Yes.
Freeholder President Gill.
Yes.
So moved.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Moving to resolution number 5, we can read it into the record at a later time. Mr. Jackson.
Mr. President, this item comes from the Office of the Prosecutor. It's for the Ms. Cox, who's the Nancy Cox, who's the director or nurse examiner for that office, and also the program coordinator for the SAR team, which is Sexual Assault Response Team. She coordinates all those efforts, and it's a 1-year contract, not to exceed $57,488. It's a result of a public advertised fair and open RFP, open-ended contract used as needed from operating funds, and last year we spent about almost $63,000, and we're not expecting that much this coming year.
Okay. Mr. Pralavecchio.
No questions.
Mr. McInerney.
No questions.
Freeholders. Questions or comments? Fairly straightforward. Have a mover and a second.
So move.
Moved by Freeholder Mercado, second by Freeholder Johnson. Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Freeholder Siebold.
Yes.
Freeholder Vice President Richardson.
Yes.
Freeholder Palmieri.
Yes.
Freeholder Mercado.
Yes.
Freeholder Luciano.
Yes.
Freeholder Jones, absent. Freeholder Johnson.
Yes.
Freeholder Cooper, absent. Freeholder President Gill.
Yes.
So moved.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Moving to resolution number 6, read into the record at a later time. Mr. Jackson.
Eileen Fishman is here from the division to answer your questions.
Thank you.
Good evening, I'm
Good
Eileen
evening.
Fishman, Acting Director of Community Health Services for Essex County. This resolution is for, actually it's an insertion, letter of intent for our Municipal Alliance program. I have with me this evening our Municipal Alliance Coordinator, Liz Marks. As you know, Municipal Alliance is the program we have in each town throughout the county for prevention and education, drug abuse, alcohol, vaping, marijuana, smoking, any kind of abuse of any kind of drug.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Pralavecchio.
No questions.
Mr. McInerney.
No questions.
Freeholders. Questions or comments? A mover and a second.
Move it.
Second.
Moved by Vice President Richardson, second by Freeholder Palmaris. Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Freeholder Cooper, absent. Freeholder Johnson.
Yes.
Freeholder Jones, absent. Freeholder Luciano.
Yes.
Freeholder Mercado.
Yes.
Freeholder Palmieri.
Yes.
Freeholder Vice President Richardson.
Yes.
Freeholder Siebold.
Yes.
Freeholder President Gill.
Yes.
So moved.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Moving to resolution number 7.
This next resolution is for our Personal Assistance Services Program, which serves disabled adults from the ages of 18 through 70 right now. And this amount is for administrative services that we provide to make sure that the people get the services that they can get from the state.
Okay, thank you. Ms. Pralavecchio.
No questions.
Mr. McInerney.
No questions.
Freeholders. Mover and a second.
Move it.
Moved by Vice President Richardson,
Second.
second by Freeholder Johnson. Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Freeholder Siebold.
Yes.
Freeholder Vice President Richardson.
Yes.
Freeholder Palmieri.
Yes.
Freeholder Mercado.
Yes.
Freeholder Luciano.
Yes.
Freeholder Jones, absent. Freeholder Johnson.
Yes.
Freeholder Cooper, absent. Freeholder President Gill.
Yes.
So moved.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Moving to resolution number 8. Can read in the record at a later time. Mr. Jackson.
Mr. President, Ms. April Caldwell from DED-TE is here to address this item.
Thank you.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening. April Caldwell, WIOA Services Manager. This resolution is for 2 programs, $15,000 each. Coach on Calls to provide Essex County WIOA services youth mentorship, and La Casa de Don Pedro to provide financial literacy. I have both vendors here to answer any questions you may have regarding those programs.
Hi, everybody. Happy New Year. Carol Lucas from Coach on Call, Youth Services and Mentoring, Career Mentoring.
Good evening.
Good evening, Board. Louis Prezo, Director of Community and Economic Development with La Casa de Don Pedro.
Thank you. Mr. Parlavecchio?
I don't have any questions.
Mr. McInerney?
No questions.
Freeholders? Questions or comments? Do you have a mover and a second?
I'll move. I'll second.
Moved by Freeholder Johnson, second by Freeholder Palmaris. Starting that year off with collegiality. Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Freeholder Cooper, absent. Freeholder Johnson.
Yes.
Freeholder Jones, absent. Freeholder Luciano.
Yes.
Freeholder Mercado.
Yes.
Freeholder Palmeras.
Yes.
Freeholder Vice President Richardson.
Yes.
Freeholder Sebo. Yes. Freeholder President Gill.
Yes.
So moved.
Thank you. Thank you, Madam Clerk. Resolution number 9 has been withdrawn by the administration. Moving to resolution number 10, which we can read into the record at a later time. Mr. Jackson.
Mr. Coltrane.
Deputy County Administrator Julius Coltree, this resolution's for payment of vendors, and we all were stuck in that snowstorm at that particular time. We declared an emergency, and to have vendors come in that are not authorized normally to help tow cars off various county roads.
Mr. Parlavecchio?
No questions.
Mr. McInerney?
No questions.
Freeholders? Questions or comments? Mover and a second.
I'll move it.
I'll second.
Moved by Freeholder Sebo, second by Freeholder Mercado. Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Freeholder Sebo.
Yes.
Freeholder Vice President Richardson.
Yes.
Freeholder Palmeras.
Yes.
Freeholder Mercado.
Yes.
Freeholder Luciano.
Yes.
Freeholder Jones, absent. Freeholder Johnson.
Yes.
Freeholder Cooper, absent. Freeholder President Gill.
Yes.
So moved.
Very good. Moving to resolution number 11, we can read into the record at a later time. Mr. Jackson.
Mr. President, Mr. Zates is here for items 11 and 12.
Joshua Zates, Essex County Parks. Item number 11 is a contract to provide various fish for the animals at the Turtleback Zoo. It is a 2-year contract, and it's not to exceed $95,000.
Very good. Mr. Parlavecchio.
No, this is the sole bidder on this. Josh, how does this price compare to the last contract for this?
So historically, we spend about $40,000 a year, so it's a 2-year contract. We just wanted to build in enough room just in case.
Thank you.
Mr. McInerney.
No questions.
Freeholders, any questions about the fish?
Chums.
I'll move it.
Moved by Freeholder Sebo, second.
I'll second the chum.
Second by Freeholder Palmaris. Roll call. Second by Freeholder Palmaris. Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Freeholder Cooper, absent. Freeholder Johnson.
Yes.
Freeholder Jones, absent. Freeholder Luciano.
Yes.
Freeholder Mercado.
Yes.
Freeholder Palmeras.
Yes.
Freeholder Vice President Richardson.
Yes.
Freeholder Sebo.
Yes.
Freeholder President Gill.
Yes.
So moved.
Thank you. Moving to resolution number 12, we'll read it into the record at a later time.
Joshua Zates, Essex County Parks. Number 12 is item for various deliver dry animal food and bedding for both 2019 and 2020 to the Turtleback Zoo. It's not to exceed $400,000. Typically, we spend about approximately $150,000 per year. And again, this is a 2-year contract. Keep in mind that we recently, in the fall, got 3 new giraffes. So we have not had a full year with the giraffes. So that's why we bumped up the number a little, just because we're not sure how much. And we do have the vendor here if the board has any questions.
Yeah, love to hear from them. Thank you.
Hi. Ann Faldudo from W.F. Fisher & Sons.
Hi, everyone. I'm Colin Sabin with W.F. Fisher & Son as well.
Thank you. Can you really tell us a little more about the contract?
Sure. So we distribute animal feed, bedding, and enrichment, and we recently started working with the Turtleback Zoo. We're local. We're located in Somerville, New Jersey, and we're a small family business.
Okay. Mr. Parlecchio?
No questions.
Ms. McInerney?
No questions.
Freeholders? Freeholder, Vice President Johnson. Mr. Vice President?
Yes, so explain the enrichment part.
So we don't do too much enrichment with the zoos necessarily. It's more the dried feed that we do, and also the bedding is pine shavings that they use with the animals.
Thank you.
Freeholders, additional questions? Comments? Moved by Freeholder Seabold. Do I have a second? Second by Freeholder Luciano. Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Freeholder Cooper, absent. Freeholder Johnson.
Yes.
Freeholder Jones, absent. Freeholder Luciano.
Yes.
Freeholder Mercado.
Yes.
Freeholder Palmeras.
Yes.
Freeholder Vice President Richardson.
Yes.
Freeholder Seabold.
Yes.
Freeholder President Gill.
Yes.
So moved.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Moving to Resolution Number 13, which we can read into the record at a later time. Mr. Jackson.
Mr. Coltrane?
Mr. President, again, I thank you for the appointment of designating me as the Public Agency Compliance Officer for 2019. In my other position as the purchasing agent, when we go out to bids, we make sure that the vendors submit all their affirmative action documents, et cetera, so they're in compliance.
Thank you, Mr. Coltrane. Mr. Parlavecchio.
No questions.
Mr. McInerney.
No questions.
Freeholders. Vice President Richardson.
Thank you, Mr. President. This gentleman come with any recommendations? Anybody know him?
For or against? For or against?
Never heard of him.
Yes, yes, exactly. For or against. Freeholder Luciano.
Thank you, Freeholder President. I just want to say Jay Coltre's done a great job. He lives in my district, District 4, and we're really proud to, again, have him on our agenda. And I don't necessarily say it's a promotion, Jay, but whatever it is with all the hats you wear, it's definitely taking all that hair off your head.
Thank you.
Freeholders. Mr. Coltrane, thank you for taking on one of the, again, many assignments that you do on behalf of the county and behalf of the board, so thank you.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Moved by you're welcome. Moved by Freeholder Seabold.
Second.
Second by Freeholder Mercado. Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Freeholder Seabold.
Yes.
Freeholder Vice President Richardson.
Yes.
Freeholder Palmeras.
Yes.
Freeholder Mercado.
Yes.
Freeholder Luciano.
Yes.
Freeholder Jones, absent. Freeholder Johnson.
Yes.
Freeholder Cooper, absent. Freeholder President Gill.
Yes.
So moved.
Okay, thank you, Madam Clerk. We're going to move to Resolution Number 20. We can read it into the record at a later time. Mr. Jackson.
I'm sorry, Mr. President, I wasn't paying attention.
Number 20? Yes.
Okay, sorry. Mr. Perillo is here to address this item.
Good evening. Anthony Perillo, Director, Essex County Public Safety Academy.
Thank you, Mr. Perillo. Do you want to tell us a little bit about the contract?
Sure. We're contracting with Hudson Community Enterprises. They use handicapped individuals to do the work, to do janitorial services at the Public Safety Academy. We're expecting big classes of 100, probably 200 people in the building at one time once the classes go in, and they're going to start probably in late February. So we definitely need janitorial services at the Academy.
Thank you. Mr. Parlavecchio?
Yes, Mr. Perillo mentioned this is a service being provided by a company with handicapped persons, and it makes it a bid exempt contract. So it's been done by the non-fair and open process to incentivize using the handicapped persons for this project.
Got it. Mr. McInerney?
No questions.
Freeholders, any additional questions or comments? Vice President Richardson.
Yes, how is the amount derived to $44,250? How do you come to that amount? So could they have, who makes that determination?
That came to us. We looked at it with corrections and determined that we would go with the contract.
So the contractor put that amount in for the work, if it's not a bid, how do we come to that amount? So is it something that's recommended from the administration or something, or from the jail, and say, okay, this is the amount that we're gonna pay, or how does that process work?
They're recommended from corrections from the jail.
Thank you.
Freeholders, additional questions, comments? Motion? Moved by Freeholder Seabold, second by Freeholder Luciano. Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Freeholder Cooper absent, Freeholder Johnson.
Yes.
Freeholder Jones absent, Freeholder Luciano.
Yes.
Freeholder Mercado.
Yes.
Freeholder Palmeras.
Yes.
Freeholder Vice President Richardson.
Yes.
Freeholder Seabold.
Yes.
Freeholder President Gill.
Yes.
So moved.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Moving to
Thank you.
resolution number 21, which we can read into the record at a later time. And I apologize, we didn't take this before. So,
Joshua Zates, Essex County Parks. No problem, it was only 2 items. So. Number 21 is the POS system for various facilities throughout the park system. They include the zoo, the arena, the miniature golf, the swan boats, permits, the environmental center, and I believe that's it. And Treetop, thank you. This was a competitive contract. There were 4 proposals. BDE rated the highest by a pretty wide margin, and we do have the vendor here if there are any questions.
Good evening. From BDE Computer Services, we're a small business located in Passaic County. We've been working with the zoo and the rink for probably close to 20 years. We've always been the second contractor in place. This year we decided to put a consortium together to meet the needs of the rink and the zoo, because we saw that they were not being handled properly. We've been around since 1996, and we basically work with small to mid-sized businesses, giving them enterprise-level support.
Parlavecchio.
My comment is just a housekeeping one. I did speak to County Council about this earlier today. It just, I don't think it made didn't make the online edition of the resolution, but the resolution, I believe, has been corrected or needs to be corrected. It indicates it was the lowest responsive bid, but as was stated by Mr. Zates, this was a competitive contract and was evaluated and ranked. So it's just something that needs to be tidied up on the resolution.
Mr. McInerney?
Yes, that's to the point, obviously, I have a question for that the next bid, this was $650,840. The second rated was DEP Technical Service, who came in at $1,195 as opposed to the BDE, whose score was $1,410, but their bid was $328,026, which is half the price of BDE. So there needs to be some reconciliation in how the score was 200 points, 215 points more. What did that encompass for the county to pick a vendor that is twice the cost of the second-rated vendor?
Joshua Zates, Essex County Parks. When they were evaluated, there were a number of factors. They included understanding of the project, experience, system capabilities, design, and some other things. Within the spec that we advertised, there were 249, I believe, different functions we were requesting for the system. They were not all required, but it was kind of, as you would call, maybe a wish list. And BD was able to provide 248 of those 249. So that is the main reason they rank so high. They include things such as e-ticket on your phone if you want to come in, various other things like that. As we move forward with the zoo and we grow and expand, we really feel this POS system and BDE in particular will help us towards that mission of becoming more user-friendly with the public as they move to mobile devices and what have you.
So I'm assuming DEP Technical Services or the other vendors couldn't offer that particular or number of those items?
That is correct. BDE, like I said, only could not offer one of the 249, and the other vendors couldn't come even near that.
So as far as DEP Technical Services, of the 249, can you tell me now how many they were able to accomplish?
Just was Essex County Parks. As far as the other vendors are concerned, I do not have that info in front of me. I apologize.
All right, thank you.
Freeholders. Mr. McInerney, just so I want to make sure I'm following your line of questioning, the 249 is the difference? I want to make sure I understood your last question.
If you look at, there's a difference in the score. The
Right.
score was 1410
Right.
for BDEs, 1195
For DEP, right.
for DEP. The price for BDE is 650,000, when the price for
Correct.
DEP was 328.
Right.
And I'm asking the administration to reconcile that.
Correct.
If I may, Joshua Essex County Parks. Also, the reason that BDE ranked higher and DEP, who was the second highest, didn't rank nearly as high as BDE had much more experience with this kind of services. So that's also another factor that made them rank so high.
So, just again, so I understand, these are the point of entry services, so these are tickets, these are admissions?
Joshua Essex County Parks, that is correct. It's everything from a physical ticket to the zoo, it could be a ticket on the carousel, a ticket to our aviary exhibit, and then also it's throughout the whole park system. So we're going to get our permits online for that. So if you want to rent a field, you would use the system, environmental center, and so on, arena, skates, admission.
Does this encompass recording money?
Yes.
So this is the actual, whatever the kiosk would be?
Yeah,
system
it's
that's
the
running?
equipment, it's the service, it's cloud-based backup.
And it will have mobile capability?
That is correct.
And who has the technical experience in the county to evaluate this?
The evaluation committee on this particular one consisted of our arena, the Cody Arena director, and then it also consisted of our two, I'm not sure of their exact title, but they, for all intents and purposes, run the admissions of the zoo. There's like a director and a co-director, so those were the three people on the evaluation committee.
And you might have mentioned this before, where does the winning vendor currently provide the same service to something that's comparable?
I'm sorry, what was the question again? Bill Rudy from BDE Services.
Where do you guys do this and something that's comparable to what you're about to do it?
We're presently working in a number of zoos. We ourselves are not doing it. We're working with National Cash Register. They're actually the publisher of the software. And the software that they're using is called Counterpoint. It's presently being used in a number of zoos and museums around the country.
Is that the software that we would use for this?
That's correct.
And you're the, just so I understand, you're the retailer for the
We're
software?
the local vendor for the
You're just a
product.
local vendor. So you're the middle person between the vendor and the delivery of
We're
service.
the local support. We're local support for the physical devices and also for the software locally. But we have support coming in from NCR Direct. So this software has been used for many years in a lot of other venues similar to yours. This is not the first time that it's been used in this type of an environment. The other thing that we're doing is, which to answer your question as to why it's a little more expensive, is we're actually going to be adding pages to the website to allow people to buy tickets online, and it's also mobile friendly. So somebody could buy tickets online, they could be standing in line and buy a ticket and be able to get a barcode right to their phone. So it's a very all-encompassing system, and hence the price.
Would that apply for the rink as well?
We're using the same software we're using the same software, both the zoo, the rink, Treetop Adventures, paddle boats, mini golf. and the facility downtown. So, and it's being customized for each one of those venues. So there will be websites that will be specific to the zoo, specific to Treetop, specific to the rink.
Freeholder Johnson.
Thank you, Mr. President. I heard you say, and it is connected to downtown too? You said something in reference to downtown?
There's a permit department downtown that is in the bid that required a point-of-sale station. It's just a single station. So, and this is something new. I don't believe this has been done before.
Joshua, could you explain the building downtown, whatever it is?
Joshua's 8 Sussex County Parks. Without breaking into song, downtown, the downtown he's referring to is the Parks Administration Building on 115 Clifton. That's where our permits are based out of.
How much of the total price is just on equipment? I mean, you described
There's a great deal of software involved in this, and there's also
hardware.
There's 48 point-of-sale stations going in around the facilities.
So there's software and I'm assuming there's hardware as well?
Yeah, both software and hardware in all the facilities. They're all using the same hardware. The other thing that we're bringing to the party, which is a major benefit, is the system has a failover capability. So if internet connectivity is lost, each one of the workstations is able to run autonomously. And then once the internet is once again allowed to come back, that station will then synchronize with the main servers and bring everything up to date. There was we kind of, on the sideline, were working with the outage that they had at the zoo, where they were down for 3 days, and they were having great difficulties doing tickets. With the system we're proposing, that would not have happened. They would have been able to take tickets through that whole period.
Freeholder Johnson.
You did state that you had the contract with the zoo and all of that with the registers and things here before. You had it for a while, right?
Actually, this is the first time we're coming in as the major contractor. We're a subcontractor to other vendors doing the hardware for them. We were working with Frontline Solutions, which was the first computerized ticketing system that was used both at the rink and the zoo, and that was done back in 1999.
So all of the equipment that we do have that was bought here in the past, in the last couple of years, that's obsolete then? So, because we're starting all over from scratch with what you're doing?
The equipment that is on site right now is about 5 years old. It was put in under USE Direct when they took over from Frontline Solutions, which was about 5 years ago. And so the feeling is that it's time for a refresh on the equipment. So the equipment that we're putting in will last for another 5 years or more.
Well, you said a refresh. When you mean refresh, is that just adding some stuff to it to make it work the way you...
The bids for a complete replacement of all the cash drawers, the receipt printers, and the point-of-sale stations as well.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you for it. So was USE Direct was the prior vendor?
Yeah. Yes, that's correct.
And who was the vendor before USE Direct?
That was Frontline Solutions. They did it for about 15 years. And they've gotten out of the business.
Okay. Ms. McInerney?
Of the $650,000, how much does National Cash Register get allocated out of that?
I don't have that number off the top of my head, but I could get it for you if you'd like.
And I have another question. Who were the three people again that were on the evaluation committee?
Joshua Zates, County Parks, it was our arena director, and then from the zoo, we had our two heads of admission. Again, I'm not sure what their exact titles are.
Why wouldn't Carl be on that committee? He's our IT guy. I mean, you have a three-man evaluation committee with people who run machines that have no knowledge of the software.
Well, I just know historically, when it's a parks bid, we always keep it in-house as far as the evaluation goes.
I know, but I think it's a legitimate question to ask why the county's IT personnel were not part of the evaluation, given it's $650,000.
Were the three members the same three members when we selected USE Direct?
Joshua Zates, County Parks, I'm not sure. I don't want to make an assumption, but I would think the arena director would most likely have been there, and the two other people are newer. I'm not really sure.
I mean, again, and this is no comment on the quality of the potential software, but it is a very valid question. It's why I asked the question originally on who served on the committee, just to have a little bit of understanding for the board of what the IT, what kind of IT analysis was done.
If I may, Mr. President,
Sure.
I think Mr. McInerney's point and your point are well taken. We'll take a look at how we do the evaluations, in the future. But I can say that historically, the same, maybe not the same individuals, but the same functions evaluated the ones that were approved in years past. But to Mr. McInerney's point, as things have become more technologically focused, I think it's a fair request, or certainly first suggestion, to have Mr. Hunt and the IT team involved more intimately than they have been in the past. So we'll take that suggestion to heart, and we'll move forward with that.
Yeah, no question. We appreciate that, man, because no question that the right people are evaluating the functionality of both the software and the equipment, and maybe they do have that level of knowledge. I don't know. I don't mean to say that they don't, but the way I think of it is, I might know what I want my phone to do, but I might not know what the best technologies that are out there in order to get it to do that.
Very fair.
So, okay. Freeholder's additional questions or comments?
Just want to piggyback on what you and Mr. McInerney was talking about. Who's to say that the next lowest bidder IT software, if we would have had Mr. Hunt there evaluated, might have been better? I'm not saying that it is or it isn't, but if you don't have an expert who understands the software, evaluating the software, then I think it's a missed opportunity.
Point taken.
Freeholder's additional questions or comments?
Mr. President,
Freeholder.
would it be safe to assume then that every bidder on this had different kind of software, proprietaries? There were no two bidders with the same software?
Joshua Zates, County Parks, through you, Mr. President, I can't speak to that. I did not see all the proposals.
How about the second lowest bidder? Would you know that?
Again, I only read through the proposal that was recommended.
Freeholders. We have a motion?
I'll move it.
Moved by Freeholder Seabold. With a second.
Mr. President, I'll second it, but what I would ask in the future, through you, is if we're gonna have added starters like this, because this is an added starter, that we could just have a little synopsis before our freeholder meeting, because this is quite a large contract, and we had a lot of questions. And these are the types of questions that are usually vetted in our leadership meeting, but clearly this never got a chance to be vetted. So I'll second it.
Thank you, Freeholder Luciano. So moved by Freeholder Seabold, second by Freeholder Luciano. Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Freeholder Sebo?
Yes.
Freeholder Vice President Richardson?
President not voting.
Freeholder Palmeras?
Yes.
Freeholder Mercado?
Yes.
Freeholder Luciano?
Yes.
Freeholder Jones absent. Freeholder Johnson?
President not voting.
Freeholder Cooper absent. Freeholder President Gill?
Yes.
So moved.
Okay, moving to, let's go back to resolutions 14 through 19. Can I have a mover and a second?
Move it.
Second.
We'll read them into the record at a later time. We were moved by Vice President Richardson, seconded by Freeholder Mercado. Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Freeholder Cooper absent. Freeholder Johnson?
Yes.
Freeholder Jones absent. Freeholder Luciano?
Yes.
Freeholder Mercado?
Yes.
Freeholder Palmeras?
Yes.
Freeholder Vice President Richardson?
Yes.
Freeholder Sebo?
Yes.
Freeholder President Gill?
Yes.
So moved.
Okay, thank you, Madam Clerk. Moving to reports and boards, committees. Seeing none, legislative reports. Seeing none, written communications. Are there any written communications? Freeholders, do we have any unfinished business? Freeholders, do we have any new business? Okay, Madam Clerk, let's go to public comment. If there's any member of the public who would like to comment on any matter, please come to the microphone, state your name and affiliation for the record. You'll have 3 minutes to speak.
Good evening. Joe just sent that Levy Jones passed. Joe DiVincenzo just sent on my Facebook, the Queen of Irvington just passed. So I'd like to make a moment of silence
Sure.
for her. Levy Jones passed. Joe DiVincenzo just sent on my Facebook 5 minutes ago. Levy Jones passed to the God. So I'm asking for a moment of silence, because she was my queen. And this is Joe DiVincenzo. All right, the reason why I'm here originally is I want to thank everybody that has been supportive of the community cats in our towns, in our Essex County. Newark has adopted with St. Hubert's. It is such a great feeling to know that they're going to start to trap, neuter, vaccinate, manage and return and manage the cats. So far, they have estimated in Newark alone 19,000 cats. Essex County has a problem, and as president, congratulations, Gil, that you are going to try to make a change for our county to be putting it first, as Joe always puts Essex County first. We need to trap, neuter, vaccinate, manage, and return the cats, but we need to make changes also. We need a cat food bank because there's cat food that needs to be done, a lot of other issues. You had stated that you had a committee that we could move forward, that we could possibly for the state of New Jersey. I am working right now to get the Menta bill, and I'm hoping that state of New Jersey will become the friendly, humane state. Senator Raymond Lesniak had me on his show, the Show of Hope, to stress the point, we have a problem in Essex County and all over the state of New Jersey. We need to address our community cats. They've been ignored and they are not really respected. The issue is quality of life, not only for the cats, but for the residents too. Thank you very much for your patience, your love to make a change, positive changes. And I support each one of you because I know you're going to make a difference for the residents and the cats. Thank you again very much. I appreciate that. A very happy New Year to everyone and a healthy one, because that's our gift. Pardon? Oh, I'm so upset about Levy. Forgive me. I'm not just myself, all right? Because that was like a shock to see, but I will do that. Meow! Meow!
My name is Paul Alfano. I work for Essex County Department of Public Works. I'm the shop steward for Local 68. I filed an Open Records Act request number 2294. This OPA request was inquiring about companies that are managing the time and attendance for Essex County. The OPA request number 2294 responded by saying the county has no contract with local government systems. The system fails frequently. I have used a hand clock and the green light illuminates, indicating that punching in and out has been successful. Then I find out that the system indicates I never punched in or out, and I'm being docked for 2 days' pay. This error has happened more than one occasion. With many other mistakes, along with many other mistakes, and correcting these errors is no easy task. Essex County chose to hire a third-party contractor to maintain the public records. This contractor's performance is horrendous, and I am convinced the contractor has no experience in this field. Essex County is the custodian of the records, and the responsibility will fall on the county. I respectfully demand that the county remove the veil of secrecy and disclose which companies are managing time and attendance system. Thank you for your time and consideration.
Gwen Franklin, Rockaway, New Jersey. I work for Essex County. I'm just going to backtrack off Paul in reference to time and attendance. I appreciate that you decided to do internal review for time and attendance, but what I'm requesting is an investigation and an audit on time and attendance. The companies obviously is not LGS, which we thought was local government service. It's really a personal company, and we would like to know the names of the parties that's involved that have all of our personal information in the county. I know I was hacked, and a few other people in the county has been hacked with their personal information. It took me over a year to get my identity straightened out. So are the people who's in charge of time and attendance, are they bonded? All the people that can see our personal information, are they bonded? Because I feel like it's just out of control. Besides that, we're not getting paid our salary properly, and we're being docked by minutes, and we're salaried employees, which is against the law. So I would just like a full audit, an investigation, outside investigation, not an inside investigation on time and attendance, and who are the people that are looking at our personal records. Thank you.
Okay, if there's any member of the public who would like to speak, please state your name Please come to the microphone, state your name and affiliation for the record. You have 3 minutes to speak. Okay, if there's no one speak, Madam Clerk, let the record reflect that there's no one wishing to speak at this time. Freeholders, do we have any comments that you would like to make? Just to say that this is now a bittersweet meeting in many respects with the newsing of Freeholder Jones passing. It's our first meeting, our reorganization meeting, one that usually is a time to refresh, and one that's usually filled with a sense of optimism and joy about the upcoming year. And this news, I'm sure, has shaken all of us to the core. So we're thinking about Freeholder Jones, her family, and ask everyone to keep her in your thoughts and prayers. So Freeholders, any additional comments? If not, do I have a motion? I'm sorry, Fielder Mikado.
Mr. President, just this last weekend, there were 2 of our Essex County employees that were victims of a hit-and-run accident in the North Ward of Newark. They were seriously injured and in critical condition, and I just ask that you keep Jasenia and Damaris and their families in your prayers.
What department? Where were they in the county? Freeholder?
Welfare Department.
Welfare. Additional questions or comments? Do I have a motion to adjourn? Move.